I have this feeling, this desire, this passion burning inside of me. You might be familiar with it. The feeling of longing for excitement, some kind of thrill that makes you feel alive, a spark that makes your heart beat faster than you could possibly imagine. Yet not knowing what could ever give you such excitement. I remember it. I remember it very clearly. When I was young, I felt nothing but emptiness. The other children told each other so many different things about how they would hang out with friends, how good they were at sports, or how they would throw such amazing birthdays. They would always smile, talking about how excited they were. I never understood that excitement. I tried some of the things they mentioned, but it never gave me any satisfaction. Nothing ever did. People thought I was weird for not enjoying anything. Some would even call me boring, depressed, or a freak. Those words felt just as empty. But the voices in my head, whenever they spoke to me, I would listen curiously. They were always there, coming up with ideas that actually managed to get my attention. At first they suggested ripping stuff apart. The ripping sound of fabric sounded nice, but not really all that special. Then they told me to light stuff on fire. I remember how, one day, the neighbors' birds were being loud again. It felt so nice seeing the birdhouse burn, lighting up their yard in the middle of the night. The screams felt warm, warmer still than the fire itself. That's when the voices told me to hurt others, to see what reactions would come out of them. I would start with pinching their skin or poking at them with something sharp like a freshly sharpened pencil till they reacted. Some were surprised, some got angry, and others simply moved away as quickly as they could. It was fun, but it still wasn't enough. So I tried something new, something different. The voices gave me the idea that I could leave my mark on others. People around me seemed to be avoiding me more as I did things like this more often. They began to look worried, to even say they looked scared. The fear in their eyes sparked excitement in me. It made me want to go further. I remembered my dad having a pocket knife. It was incredibly sharp. I knew that to be the case as I tested it on my own skin. I couldn't help but smirk. At school, I waited for someone to use the knife on. My first victim would be a girl. I remember her particularly well, as she was most afraid of me. Her skin was smooth, like a white canvas ready to be painted with the beautiful crimson of her blood. The idea of cutting her perfect skin, what she would do when I did, it made my heart race. I felt so warm, so excited, so alive. I couldn't hold myself anymore. My body was filled with so much energy. I had the knife in my hand and the voices cheering me on. Before I knew it, I followed her into the bathroom and simply rushed at her. I grabbed her arm. Before she could react, I slashed it. Guiding the blade through her perfect skin, she screamed as the blood dripped to the floor. I couldn't stop smiling as she struggled, until someone forcefully pushed me away and stood in between me and her. Teachers and other staff members stormed in, some helping the girl as others dragged me away to an empty classroom. They took my knife away from me and locked me up. Not long after, my parents would arrive. They took me home and yelled at me, as my father would slap me in a fit of rage. I felt upset, not because of the yelling or the pain, no. I was upset because when the girl was freed, she didn't run, she didn't fight. She simply hid behind that guy. I was expecting so much more, But instead she did nothing. For once, I thought I would finally feel the excitement I was looking for. Alas, because of them, it was all for nothing. I assumed my life would become empty once more. My parents kept everything they thought could be harmful away from me, and I was stuck, locked up in my room. The only time I got out was to use the bathroom or see a psychiatrist. He asked me weird questions. I would answer them, but in my mind I thought about how they would react if I'd stabbed their hand with the shiny pen they were using. The only real company I had were the voices. However, they became louder, giving me all sorts of ideas, but none of them could be fulfilled. Until one day, the voices told me to escape from my boring prison. I waited until nighttime to escape into the world, where I would find that satisfaction I'd been looking for in life. Over the years, I tried to find people that I found interesting. I would follow them until the perfect moment, then I would capture, torture, and afterwards kill them. While the fear and the screaming were exciting, it still wasn't enough. I wanted to do no more. Just killing them after the torture simply felt too easy. Something was missing, stopping me from being truly satisfied. One of the people I killed worked at a flower shop. When I pretended to be a customer, I couldn't help but notice her enjoying the roses. I asked about them to see what she had to say, hoping she would say something I could use when I got my hands on her. She told me how much she enjoyed the red roses. She viewed them as if they were pieces of art. That intrigued me. Later that night I captured, tortured, and eventually killed her. When I stared at her lifeless body, I noticed the red roses she had with her. Her blood matched perfectly with their vibrant red color. Her words bounced through my head as the voices started to repeat them. The idea of my actions being art sounded wonderful. It made me feel more excited than ever before. I tried so many different ideas and ways to achieve them. Often I based my creation on my subjects, making sure the final product was nothing short of beautiful. I finally felt happy and alive. My excitement overflows with every idea I have and every art piece I create. And yet, it still isn't enough. I still hunger for more. Their voices, who grow louder and louder still, demand more. I can't blame them. They are simply excited like me. One day, I will find the satisfaction I'm looking for. After all, an artist needs a true masterpiece to finish their legacy on. I'm thinking of making someone into a beautiful flower. One that will be red as roses.